Welcome to another episode of the People's Mic. I'm Jim Peoples. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, that's on you, man.
Oh, I am Nathan Orton.
There you are.
Orlando Perez.
Peter Wong.
Clyde Mack, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Get fined from what?
I don't know, you never saw Marshawn Lynch do that on...
Oh, okay.
Interviews.
It was just here, so
I thought it would be...
I don't think Jimmy watches sports.
I don't watch sports. Though. I hate spectating.
Where the Skittles at? Where the Skittles at?
I'm not spectating at all. I feel like I can't see you. I want to talk to
you.
you. Like, hey, there you are.
You'll find that very spiritual people don't really watch.
Put your name on here.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I meditate and I'm not religious. Does that mean I'm spiritual?
I would say you're kind of spiritual. And you watch sports?
I don't watch sports.
I don't watch
It goes
sports.
hand in hand.
I feel like I need to do something. I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, I've never been one of those guys who just lays on the couch. Like I got friends that just lay on the couch and just lets ESPN play just so they can consume it and know. I was like, I've never been that guy. I was like, I gotta move and I don't want to fucking.
That's why I kind of hate like spiritual people for the most part. It's because it's all this like thing where they've got to be like. Yeah, let's go to the freaking mountain. Let's freaking go.
What about UFC, like fighting?
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, okay. It's like, it's still spectating. It's like
it's still the gist, though. You know what? I like UFC because it's not as long as boxing. Because it's not 15. A long boxing match is all night. UFC barely goes 2-3 rounds.
Yeah, long boxing
matches. And I'll only watch UFC like if I'm eating chicken wings at like a Hooters and so on or whatever. Then that's perfect.
And I would rather if it was still street fighting because I don't like how they're in thongs. At the end, like you know, I got a problem with feet, so I don't want to see their feet during the fight. I don't want to see them. They always in UFC. They always end up in the same position at the end. It's grappling on the floor, and I was like, I need a street fight on 125th Street where it's just hand to hand. You know, nobody wants to go to the ground because it's concrete. You know, Tim's shoes on. Somebody's hat has to get knocked off.
But now see toes.
I don't want to see no fucking toes.
It
is gay porn. UFC is gay porn.
Knocking somebody's hat off, like you get fucked up. Like,
Absolutely.
His hat
Absolutely.
off,
You knocked his hat off, son. And then took his hat home.
Ooh, I've taken a hat
That's
off
the belt.
after
you take somebody's hat?
I've done that. One time, we was beating this dude to fuck up. He's on his hands and knees, and I reached in the back of his pants and ripped his drawers off.
Oh, see, that's dirty. That's a fight. I like dirty shit. I like, but I don't like the.
And real fights are fast.
Yeah,
they last seconds.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's a real fight. Yeah. I need cameras rolling on the 2 train, and the fight lasts for 2 stops. You know, from I don't know stops.
It's probably just like one stop.
One stop is everybody moves out the way and the fight's over. You know, I don't need to see rounds.
In middle school, they would have like every time a fight broke out, like the crowd formed.
That should be
in
a
seconds.
show.
In seconds, the crowd formed, and the principal. Like, I don't envy that job. Going through
is the ref.
Yeah, and they're boxing them out and everything.
Yeah,
and it's like when you're fighting, if somebody touches me, I'm socking them. So you're the principal. You gotta watch out to get hit. Especially with girls. With girls, you would get fucked up.
Wait, what do you mean?
Your own friend, right?
Or world star.
If you're fighting about girls, or if girls are fighting.
If 2 girls are fighting, they're grabbing on to some shit's happening.
Because that's a real backstory. Because you fucked my man, and then we had to meet at 3 o'clock, and the whole school is there.
The bigger girl always wins.
And there's one girl on the fence talking about beat his ass.
And there's coaching and shit like uppercut.
That's a fight.
You ever show up after and just see like weave on the ground?
Like,
I missed it.
You took a weave over there like that, bitch. Ain't got no hair.
Missed it.
Damn it. Yo! Someone got scalped.
That's so good. And then paid him $3 million. I would pay money to watch that. Pay-per-view?
Hey, has anyone seen a fight on the train yet? I'm sure.
Yeah.
No,
Who's the last?
I have not.
The last fight I saw was on 6th Avenue, and there was these 2 bums are fighting, or bum and a kid, and this cop was like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Did it work?
Did it work? They gently let go, but he didn't even. He was no gun. There was no. He's like, "What are you assholes doing? You're gonna fall into the tracks."
Yeah.
I was like,
I seen a dude fighting himself on the train. He's in an argument with himself. I thought they were about to fight.
With himself.
With himself. No.
Well, that I've seen a million
I can't
times.
remember what.
That's definitely common.
They're fighting
It's like-
themselves.
I like
This
when people
morning-
argue and then don't fight. I can't remember this gay dude. There was a gay guy. I just heard his voice, and I wish I could remember the phrase he said. It was the best gay. It was fuck.
I've seen
To an act out.
Yeah.
Damn.
I've
The
seen
floor's
three
yours.
homeless
I'm
men.
about that business. He kept saying something. He kept saying it over and over again. But that's all. Everybody, you know, when you laugh at something,
Tag
the
all
whole
his
train was like,
punches.
"What?" And he was like, "Please say it again." He was like, "Oh, fuck!" It was so good. It was delicious because I couldn't see his face, but he was talking to some lady who bumped him or something. No, she coughed. She coughed in his face. She was like, "Fuck."
Oh.
That's gonna be the name of this episode. Hey, somebody
Okay.
keep talking. I don't know.
I saw
no,
three
what he
homeless
said.
three homeless men like touching each other. One was like jerking them out.
Oh,
The
That's
other guy was
not what
touching
he.
their butt.
Yo,
That's
yo,
not a
yo.
question.
Why did this go that way? Now we're all bummed
We talking about
out.
fighting. We talking about arguing in public.
Bummed out.
Yo, in a fight, you said people argue and don't fight enough. Like when I grew up, like if you met up and shit and you are arguing and you didn't fight, you get jumped.
You get jumped? Wow. So then you
beat
gotta
up.
fight to
Yeah,
self.
so you gotta
Yeah,
fight.
because they be
Preservation
like,
at
"Oh,
that
you
point.
pussy!
Yeah.
You gonna fight them and you get beat up by your
like,
boys."
You got 30 y'all some bitch ass.
Yeah, y'all some it's a whack ass fight. Somebody got to fight.
You gotta fight to
Yeah.
survive.
I used to chicken out of street fights.
Really? That's probably sometimes that's a good idea.
I
Like,
chicken out.
when I was a kid. Because like at the bus stop, like it'd be about to fight, and I'd be like, I'm not even like, I don't even hate you. Like,
White guys fights are funny. Because they argue.
bro, I love you,
Bro.
dude. Why am I hitting you, bro?
I was like, did they just fight?
You like hug at the end and shit.
They handshake.
The fucking zero, no hair on the ground.
That's a white guy.
No hair in the girl.
One of my friends got out of a fight.
Just a hat.
This dude was gonna fight.
Like a clean hat is still fine. I'm sorry.
This dude was gonna fight my friend. My friend got out of the fight by saying, "Nah, man, I'm eating my egg roll. Leave me alone." And he's like, "No."
Oh yeah, I couldn't
He's
remember
like-
nobody until he said that.
You gotta let
He
someone
let him
enjoy their
alone,
meal.
like, eating his egg roll.
I never even came close, you know. I was a real big pussy
Yeah?
in middle school.
Close.
Never even. Yeah.
Where'd you go to
as a
school?
little kid. Parsons in Queens. It was in Jamaica.
Sick.
Pretty close to Jamaica.
Yo,
New York.
Public school? Asian school?
Public school.
Mostly
It's
Asian?
just
99% black.
Not really.
Yeah. But
No,
I was in
he laughed. I don't remember the name of the school, but when I first moved to New York from Florida, my first grade was mostly Asian school in the Bronx. And I was like one of the only black kids.
Where?
In I don't remember the name of the school. And everybody was like, I don't think he's supposed to be here.
Because
But
you're
I
black.
felt that energy. Like,
Is that when you develop your fetish?
yeah, I was like, I love this school.
joking,
I don't have a
bro.
fetish. I just like Asian, whatever.
I'm joking.
So that's not even a joke. That's true.
That's not true. It's not true.
I just like Asian.
I remember that
Sexually.
school, and I remember them changing me to the mostly black school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Get
That's
out.
Yeah,
weird, man.
because it was right up the block. That's
Man.
too, but it was mostly Asian.
1970
Same thing happened to me.
You keep pulling jabs. You fucking
I'll
teeny
tell
me.
you, and this is the truth. I had in the first year. So there's the regular classes, and then there's the smart classes in my school. And the smart classes, it was a bunch of the smart kids, and there were 2 black kids in that class, and all the other classes were black kids. That was the first year, and then the next year, the smart class was the same class minus the 2 black kids.
Wow.
I swear to God.
Yo, Jimmy, did you get hit when you were a kid? Like, were they able to hit you guys?
Who? Teachers?
Oh.
I went to a Catholic school for a hot minute, and they gave us the ruler, and I fought
So,
back
yeah.
because I didn't know any better.
I went to
But
Catholic.
our public school teachers didn't really hit us back.
Yeah.
We fought each other, so it's like.
But I'm talking about like if you get in trouble, they can take you up and hit you.
Oh shit.
Like,
I
went to-
the
school.
only time I remember that is the
Adults?
Catholic
Private school?
Catholic school.
Yeah, adults,
Adults would
hit
hit
Yeah.
you like
they
that?
hit the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is private school?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I went
that's
to
a-
Catholic school too, but none of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Catholic school, they used to
can't do
fuck
that
us up.
shit.
And then my mom was like, nah, you got to get out of here.
Oh,
It's-
they never would try
Yeah.
that shit.
I just feel all of us telling you that wasn't supposed to happen.
I wasn't that kid. I was the crazy kid. So it was like
Crazy kid like you would get in trouble.
like I would flip desks and yeah, I was a desk flipper.
I don't know why you would decide to
I had
be
a
a teacher
temper.
at a middle school
Yeah.
or like a
Kids are
principal.
crazy.
Any of those
Now
things.
they even worse because now you because we wouldn't think of bringing guns and knives and shit like that to school. Like you got weapons and these kids have access to all types of shit. You don't know what they're thinking.
Insane.
You know, I would never.
I think people who have those jobs who just really believed in the system, stayed in the system. They stayed in school literally and just safe.
It's a mental war. It's a mental hospital.
That's interesting.
Dealing with these kids.
Yeah.
Public schools. I mean,
getting everyone into an auditorium.
Yeah.
Like those kids into an auditorium. I'm like shocked that ever worked.
I know,
ever.
right? Yeah.
In 5th grade, I was in Catholic school, and 3 kids brought, like, they told themselves the day before, like, yo, I got a bigger knife than you. I know this, like, figurative, right? So, like, I have a bigger knife than you. And then the next day, they all, like, went to the bathroom together, and then they just showed each other the knives. Literally, like, actual knives. And they're just like, look at mine, look at mine. And I was just like, well, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, that was my first year in Catholic school, too. I was like, what's going on? Like, are you guys just pulling out knives here, man? What's up with that?
Yo, perfect about teachers. Look at this teacher snap on this kid.
Wait, what?
eventually I'll be able to. But he had to do that. He has to snap.
Nah, young boy was right with him.
Is that World Star?
Mm-hmm.
I can't do nothing about your anger that you can't control it and I can control mine.
Does he hit him? Does he hit him?
Why you in my face? That's it.
They just looking at us. Look at that. He pulled his pants. Told him to put his pants on.
Yeah, his pants up. Said, "Yo, beat you the fuck up, little guy."
Wait, he told him to pull his pants up, and the kid did it.
Either way, he said, "Little guy," and everybody was laughing at him and
That
shit.
reminded me of, like, what do you guys think about
Whether
the
he
YouTube?
knows who he can talk to like that. I'm sorry. Good.
What do you
Do
mean?
you have the context?
No
Okay,
context.
no context.
Just a
I was
teacher,
curious.
like
Snapping out.
a little ass teacher that was about to get his
it's World
ass
Star.
whooped.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you guys think of, like, the YouTubers that, like, all they do is, like, do, like, reaction videos, and then, like, other people are watching their reaction to another video? You know, like, the weird connection.
Tell them where they can find that video.
Yo, World Star's on the first page.
What's the name of the video? Is there a title?
The title's funny as shit, I think. It is.
Yeah, that's what we'll do from now on.
He big mad. Teacher with Napoleon complex is sick and tired of the little man jokes made by his students.
Oh, little man. And so he said little man back to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I respect that.
Other than that
In
security
context.
guard. Oh, I'm sorry.
What the fuck happened today? Did anybody see? I hate talking about Trump. No. I saw Dolomite. We'll talk about Dolomite. I saw Contact a second time, and I don't want to talk about the plant-based diet shit. Al-Baghdadi.
The guy.
The terrorist thing.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I was like, hearing Trump say Al-Baghdadi is like hearing him introduce a rapper. Because he practiced saying his name before he went on camera. So he was like, Al-Baghdadi. And he was like, it's such a good name. It's a delicious name for a villain.
Yesterday, I heard some dude say,
Bad, very bad man.
Baghdadi is such a good Baghdaddy. It's such a
Big Daddy.
Bag.
It sounds like a Big Daddy terrorist. It does sound like a rapper.
It sounds
Got my
like a
new
rapper.
It's Big
Al-Baghdadi,
Daddy
I would buy his
Big
album.
Daddy. Big Daddy Term.
That shit would be the bomb.
A poor Al-Baghdadi.
That's
good. That's good.
I appreciate it.
This guy is such a clown. He's president.
Trump cracks me up every time I see it. I don't follow politics.
No, I don't follow politics.
I didn't vote for him.
I zoom in and out and get the snippets. I don't know shit about.
they were booing
It's
him yesterday
depressing.
at the World Series, weren't they?
Where is
Yeah, I
it?
saw
Yeah,
that.
they're
Sports
booing
shit.
That's hilarious. And they got sit there acting like nobody's booing them and shit.
He's like clapping.
Like,
Lonnie is bad as shit, though.
Is she still bad?
For her age, yeah.
How old is she? 50?
Probably older, but yeah, she was
50?
good.
Pushing 60 maybe?
Wasn't she like in Playboy?
I don't know. She I don't fucking. Yeah.
You can see her tears online.
I did go see Countdown. It's a horror movie about the app that counts down to the time of your death.
That's cool. That's a good premise.
It's a good premise. It was
Which means the movie sucks.
Sorry, the movie's terrible. It was spot on film school movie, like beginning, middle, end, whatever, all that shit. I look into movies, so I didn't see at the beginning because I am trying to change my I don't want to say diet, but the way I eat. I am doing plant based. I'm trying to plant based. I failed this weekend. I failed,
right?
and then shut the fuck up.
Plant-based.
I'm on a I'm a plant-based athlete. I saw the Game Changer on Netflix, so I'm trying to be a plant-based athlete.
So you only eat veggies?
Vegan.
Shut the fuck up. All right? Vegans are gay, all right? I'm a plant-based athlete. That's the difference, all right? Vegans suck dick, and plant-based athletes lift weights. All right, we get pussy, all right? But no, at the beginning.
So what have you been eating?
At the beginning, it's fucking brutal.
Kale.
Swallowing cum is very unvegan.
No, that's actually a meat diet. That's protein.
I said unvegan.
It's unvegan.
Unfortunately, that's not a word, but
Unvegan is.
But I
So what'd you
noticed.
eat what'd you eat for breakfast?
non-vegan.
I failed to. I ate like home fries. I had a veggie burger,
Sweet.
and I had
You
a.
sound all right so far.
And I had a beet juice.
Yeah,
But it's
exactly.
way too expensive.
Okay.
It was. I didn't even look at my receipt, but it was.
Most diets won't be.
It is ridiculous. Like I did go to Qdoba and get Qdoba. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Qdoba, and I got a. I've been eating the plant-based burrito.
Don't they have that at Dunkin' Donuts?
No, it's a vegetarian burrito, but I call it the plant-based burrito.
That's how you order it too. And we get the
Get
plant-based.
rid of the plant-based burrito.
The
There's
veggie
no-
burrito? No, I
No,
said
no,
the
no,
plant-based.
the plant-based. You gotta say plant-based. It's bullshit.
I worry about the plants, like, because like plants can't move, so their defense is like toxin-based, chemical-based.
Yeah.
So like, you know, you're gonna inflame
What
you.
if you viewed plants as
What?
as
Stop
life as life form, right?
What am I talking about? That didn't make sense.
I thought it made sense.
That's not a real thing.
What?
Like plants.
yes.
No, yes, plants, I understand. But we're talking about, he's not eating wild fucking things
Barking
in the
trees.
forest.
Still,
He's
though.
I mean,
eating
the fruit of the
Kale.
plants. Yeah,
Still though.
yeah.
Peppers.
It's plant. It comes from plants.
Peppers. Those. I bet you there's some level of like chemical defense on food that we eat that could cause inflammation.
There's chemicals. There's
Like
no way
pesticides?
there's not chemicals
No.
in everything we eat, right?
Natural
So, yeah.
plant-based defense chemicals.
There's no, like in order for shit to get into the city, it's all got chemicals in it.
Oh,
It's
cool.
all
Like,
got fumes,
you get
chemicals in
everything
it.
is-
So
It's
we're
everything
like,
to get to this point.
I'm trying to talk about this weird conspiracy shit that I would need to research, and we're conflating like natural plant defense chemicals
Monsanto?
with like Monsanto chemicals.
Yeah,
So I'm talking about
we
this.
get both.
We all
gotta
get this.
both.
We
Yeah,
can-
yeah.
You go organic, it's probably still there a little bit.
So that's a working conspiracy right now, that the plants are fighting us back from us trying to eat them?
Okay, so that was just
Wait,
me.
So
I'm asking, is that
Oh,
a thing?
is
Is
that
that
what
a
you were
working
saying?
conspiracy that exists?
I don't know. I just was thinking, and I said something that might be dumb or might be
Oh, okay.
profound.
Yeah,
But
that was
I-
ridiculous.
I liked it. It made me think. Everything that we eat,
possible.
everything that we eat,
Don't
are
entertain.
living
That was a
organisms.
ridiculous thing he
Everything
said.
that we eat are living
What?
organisms.
Yeah.
Plants.
that
Plants-
plants have
plants-
defense that we might be ingesting.
That the plants we're eating right now have defense mechanisms that are.
There's plants that do though.
Yes, there are plants that
Yeah.
do.
So I mean, they're all.
I want
like,
to like research this now.
Yeah.
This is calling it ridiculous. I think it makes sense.
I think it does too.
Oh my
No more
You have
coffee.
to
Only-
research everything
I
Peter
research
says though, because Peter questions everything. That's just
Yeah,
his
that's
job as
good.
an Asian man.
I'm
Research
questioning
questions.
something that's reasonable to question. I mean, there's been there's meat that's had mad calories.
Was that an M. Night Shyamalan movie?
I'm not saying we
The
shouldn't
plants?
eat plants. I'm just saying like it's interesting. Like going vegan might like. Is it the absolute healthiest choice?
Is it?
And we're not having a debate about.
I
diets.
do
Just
feel
had a thought.
I do feel a lot stronger. In the week that I've been switching over,
Yeah.
I feel incredibly strong. I got energy. I'm off the hook.
Placebo.
Because you're hungry as shit.
It probably we'll see in a month. We'll see in a
Okay,
month
yeah.
because I feel cool. I've been drinking a lot of water.
That's true.
How's your
Everyone-
Thanksgiving gonna be?
I don't celebrate holidays.
I don't drink water. There's too many chemicals.
There's chemicals in everything. We're fucked. When
I
you
know.
think about it, I did there was a documentary that you can find on not the underground videos where Monsanto was taking all the seeds and none of the shit that we eat.
A lot of farmers are killing themselves because they owe money.
What's
Yeah,
Monsanto?
Monsanto is
It's a big corporation that
Corporation.
like clones
Yeah.
seeds
Yeah.
of apples, and so we're eating like cloned weird
Yeah.
fruit, and they
They
spray
make it so
everything
that
with
farmers
everything.
can
synthetic.
more easily make these products. But
Yeah.
did you watch that documentary on
I
Monsanto?
did not,
I
but
did see that.
They're
I'd
saying
kill
that,
myself
like,
if
it's
I was
scary
a farmer.
shit.
People
It's
are
scary
making contracts with Monsanto, and then they they end up owing Monsanto money for the rest of their lives, like these farmers, like in Asia and stuff. And now
It's
like
so
they're going
fucked up.
crazy and they're killing themselves because they feel like they're just
Because of the
trapped
chemicals.
because of the chemicals that Monsanto is bringing.
He like doubled down, didn't know I was making it.
But
Yes.
there was a transition of they were trying to take out all seeds to take away the power
I'm loopy,
of us
right?
growing our own food.
I know,
So now it's harder to find. Like if you look at the food that we eat, a lot of the food doesn't have seeds in it. All right, so you can't grow it. So try to find the food. A lot of it, like if you try to like watermelons, is like seedless watermelons they're trying to sell, and it is so that they have full control of the food that we eat.
Does going organic get around this, or is it just ubiquitous and we can't help it? That's what I want to know. Like, it's,
I don't.
Is there a way?
I don't have the
Right?
the
That was, like,
information.
philosophical.
It was just I
Yeah.
tune in to see what the fuck is going on, and I'm like, okay.
None of us know
But
the answer.
I don't know the answer.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
saw
It's
certain
not
things that I've
not-
seen.
Makes you want to learn.
And then I
Not even
pay.
the
I
people that
try
tell
to
us
pay
to do it
attention.
know the answer.
Exactly.
But the shit'll drive you crazy.
We're just waiting for the next like Netflix
Like
thing to tell us. Like,
Yeah, right.
Because now, like, don't you
I'm sorry.
don't you yawn out of this.
Yo, I
Don't
do wanna
you
hear-
yawn out.
I do want to
Peter,
hear
what
about
do you-
Dolomite before we get off this.
What is
joint.
that?
I don't even know nothing about Dolomite. Like, what is this?
Oh my! He's been
Dolomite
around
is
forever.
Rudy Ray Moore.
It's like
is
a remake,
story.
right?
No, it's not a remake. It's just a biography. I always get autobiography. Somebody else does. It's just a story
Not
about Rudy
biography.
Ray Moore. Rudy Ray Moore was a stand-up comedian in the 50s, 60s. He was one of the first.
But Dolomite's been out for a long time, right? Oh, since like the
Dolom-
60s.
Dolomite was his character
Yeah.
that he did when nobody would give him time of day to get on stage and be a comedian. He created this Dolomite character, and then nobody would put him on film. He's like, I'm gonna make a movie, and he pulled all his money, all his
man.
resources together, and made his Dolomite movie. And he made a bunch of them, and it was like this. It was on the cusp of in that blaxploitation era, where, and I could be completely wrong, but this is what I remember. Where all of our movies were made by like white directors, and he was telling our own story, not our own story, but in a story that was his control, and he could just make a comedy action movie and just make a good movie for black people. That's all he wanted to do. He just wanted to entertain our people in the way that we entertain us, and not.
Jeez.
And so he was one of the first ones to say, "I'm just going to make a motherfucking movie." And he wanted to just make a bad movie. He just wanted to make a movie, and put and it doesn't have to be like a deep fucking, be better black people. I want to make the kind of movie that
Is he the OG
a mainstream,
And
yeah,
and
kinda.
he did it. He did it.
And he did it.
I need
He did
hands
it.
for that.
We're struggling.
Tyler Perry. So
Like
He
Well,
did it, man.
yeah.
No, he did it.
Real
He
shit.
did it. He
Let me
did
ask
the
you,
fucking
so
thing.
good.
blaxploitation
Yeah.
is exploiting is where
The
they're
black
making
culture.
they make fun of the black culture,
Yeah, making
right?
fun of it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's,
And just making over the top movies about what we think black people do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we didn't have any control of that.
Yeah.
It was like saying, we need you to when they brought us in the cast, and like, we need you to be more black. Like that. That's where that originated from. It's
Yeah.
like to talk with jive and
Yeah.
be like, and that wasn't,
That's amazing that all that like how many documented films we have in the backlog of all stuff like that. And
it's a lot.
Just
I
can probably
got
watch it
a
now.
watch list of shit that I still haven't. I was like, this shit is embarrassing to watch. Like, this is like coming through comedy
stuff is
now.
so crazy.
Like.
But it's the thing is
Shit
at that time the people have no idea that this is like
imagine.
oh we shouldn't do this.
I can imagine how
Now,
hard it was to.
I wonder
to-
what today in 40 years we'll look back and go I can't believe they did that. Like,
all the shit that's on YouTube. It's like,
yeah, probably sooner or later.
Yeah, because I don't. It will boggle your brain to think about the shit because they had a whole circuit just for black, like the Chitlin circuit and just
Chitlin
yeah,
circuit?
Chitlin circuit.
What's the Chitlin
The Chitlin circuit is the black bars and that black people had to work in the South.
Uh-huh.
It's like certain bars that black people could work at.
So it's like for example, Bernie Mac was. They said he was like the best comedian and was super famous in the black community, like way before he ever
Absolutely.
anyone knew him.
Yeah,
Oh.
So
because
like
he's
that
doing
kind of
road
circuit.
shit in the South, but
Yeah.
he wasn't in mainstream clubs.
He used to have like the Chicago Bulls come to his shows, like
like shit like that.
Before he was big.
before he was like famous. Yeah.
Oh wow.
But then they did Kings of Comedy and then Def Jam and
And you got a show.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, we gotta give this guy a chance.
Hello, America.
Yeah.
Shout out, Dirty Mack.
It's exhausting. What talk about dating. Talk about your experience.
While us three are here,
Yes.
this is a
Do
little
it.
related. So we were talking about what we're attracted to in a woman. Us three.
Uh-huh.
The
Yes.
first time I did this podcast, a burlesque dancer who was a friend of a Facebook friend watched our podcast, said you had a dad bod, and called us all self-important douchebags.
Ooh, what?
Burlesque dancers, so strippers that no one wants to
Was
see
I in
naked.
it? Pod?
Okay.
You weren't, just us
Okay.
three, and we talked about like
Wasn't that
See?
me?
what we're attracted
Feminist.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about what we're attracted to, and you can't even start to mention that you're not attracted to
Well, hold on.
overweight people
Why?
without
Why not?
But that she
without this goofy bitch
Slow
caught
down.
insulting us.
Well,
But,
here she's a vocal minority,
yes,
right? The majority of women, I don't want to speak, but I don't think are in that sort
Of course.
circle that they're like, oh my god, this guy's saying that.
but it's just
she's a
funny.
little crazy.
It's just
Don't
funny that
Don't
we
read
got like
Flack.
lambasted
Yeah.
a little bit for just having an opinion of what we're attracted to. You know, if you're attracted to a race, it's a fetish. If you're attracted to a body type, then you're discriminating the other body types. It's just weird that, you know, we were just having a little conversation, just guys, and we weren't being like overly like insulting or misogynistic by any means, and it still sparks someone to fuck them, and it's like,
Well, I'm
get
glad it
over
happened
yourself.
because it's hilarious to hear about.
Yeah. I wish I had a
Ask her
better
if she'd
take
come
on
on
it.
after if she would
So
come on the
come on
podcast.
podcast.
She'd bring some burlesque friends on the podcast.
Yeah.
We got to get bigger chairs, but I mean,
Is she a big girl? She's a big girl?
yeah, she blocked
fine.
me on Facebook. Someone screenshotted.
Some people get offended. Like, this is not the podcast to get
Someone
offended.
screenshotted what she was saying about me and showed me. That's how I know it.
Oh, shit.
So she tried to go behind my back to do it, which is
She
just
posted
funny.
it on her wall, or she
She
messaged
posted it on a thread that I was on. So there's a whole thing. This one, an open micer from St. Louis, where I'm from, made a post implying that Dave Chappelle should quit comedy because of his last special was too offensive. And I said, hey, maybe you look a little silly saying this. And then that's when this other person who's their friend was like, oh, I saw this podcast with a douchebag body, personal trainer and the dad bod.
I'm a douche. I'm a douchebag.
Making fun of
Douchebag?
She's being generous. But I mean,
Douchebag.
I'm
They
joking.
make black douchebags?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, write this. They made one.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a t-shirt. Black douchebag. Black douchebag gang.
You're like a limited edition. Jimmy. Your name's Jimmy.
Black douchebag.
Black douche. You can make we could go a viral video now. Just
Black douchebag.
dress you up all douchey and
This
just
episode.
make a real bad song.
Black bros. Black bros.
But anyways, yeah, someone hates us, so that's fine.
Good. The
But
hate is
she's a
good.
person.
She's allowed to.
She's a person watching a Facebook thing and
I remember
spending
we were
time
not anymore.
getting angry and making a thing.
I remember
That's
we were
her
talking about bodies. We
thing.
were talking about like people like trying to like work on your body.
I just realized if I sit back,
Yeah, I'll show you.
you gotta put your arm around me. It's fine. Look how inclusive we are.
Peter, tell them about your
My dating thing?
yes.
Yeah.
Can you talk and read at the same time?
Do you want me to read this first?
No, don't read
Jimmy?
that online.
Don't read it. It has
Oh,
the
okay.
N-word.
Yeah.
Well then.
No. I was showing you. Tell them your
Let
story
me see
first.
something.
Okay, so yeah, on the way here, I saw a really hot, like a really cute girl walking on the street, and I'm doing this thing now where I try to smile at women I'm attracted to, and if they smile back, then I'm going to open up a conversation with them, basically. So I smiled at her, and then I saw what I think it was a smile. I think she smiled back, right? And then so I really quick, I was like, "Oh, hey, hello, Miss, how are you? I'm Peter," all that stuff.
Hello, Miss.
And then
What's your name?
I had no line or anything. I was just like, I didn't know what I was saying. And then she said, "Oh, hello.
Yeah.
I'm on my way." She's like, "I gotta go." And then I think I was like, "Oh, wait, let me talk." And then I said, I think I said something. I said like, "I'm sorry, I'm like shy or something." Like that. She goes, "Yeah, I can tell you don't do this a lot, right?"
Oh.
and anyways, we talked for a bit. and then she went on her way. I didn't go for the number clothes or anything, and I went to the subway, and then she came into the same subway platform, and then we locked eyes, and she laughed, and we talked some more, and then we went on the subway and talked some more. But then I didn't think. I thought she was just being like nice and everything. I didn't go for like the number or anything. So
You didn't close.
pretty bad games.
You got
all
Instagram?
overall? No.
Dude, what you're doing is amazing, because most guys are just on Tinder and DMs and making themselves look stupid. You're gonna get better at that and eventually get a
Did you
quality.
tell her
shit.
you were a comedian?
Yeah.
Then
she
say
asked.
come to his show and
Yeah.
like bam. Start
Not a mic.
Yeah,
yeah, no,
definitely not a mic.
Definitely not a mic.
Yeah, so that's the whole story. But I do that. I'm very.
I applaud you.
I think I'm very bold, but
Yes.
I have shit game. So all the time, I've done this lots of times, but
That's
it's
how you
always
build game, dude. That's great that you're doing that.
yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks.
It at least
This is nice.
exudes confidence, and you're working on yourself, and you're taking risks. Those are all good qualities. I just sound real nice.
I do
on
know
that.
I have like this insecure foundation in my head where like I'll open up and open the conversation or whatever,
What-
and then in my head I'm like, she so doesn't want
The
to.
thing, it happened,
gotta turn
right? It
that off.
happened. What would you have done differently?
Looking back,
Yes.
I'm not even
Besides
sure.
fix your posture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big
Yeah,
part of it.
fix your posture.
Okay. Well,
Ooh, you have a spongy, weird. It's no muscle.
I would have.
You need to build some muscle, young man. You're very noodly body.
I got you now.
It's a very.
I fixed a lot of postures.
I'm in a very vulnerable moment right now.
Yeah, I know. He's
Being
like,
struck by all sides.
Ooh,
I would have asked for a number. I think.
Yeah.
How would you
Please.
ask?
I'd be like,
This is your homework for the next week.
I guess I'd be like, hey,
You
I'd like you. Let's go get a coffee sometime. What's your number?
Tell her to come to a comedy show. You
No,
text her.
no,
No.
don't.
Listen, you tell
I
her.
don't wanna do that.
You tell her to come to a comedy show just so you can get the phone number. And so okay, and then you text her later, and keep on talking to her. Hey,
Something
we
else?
should meet up. Like you know what I'm saying?
So you tell me you're a comic?
It's
Yeah,
genius.
fuck yeah. Everybody knows. I tell everybody. Everybody I know. I'm a
Yeah,
comic.
it could be, yeah. It depends on the mood. It depends on the mood that I
what
tell
I don't know
If
why
they're
you
cool.
didn't ask for the number.
We
Because
have
like you
to-
already had like you were talking to her on the train, right? So like just treat her like like even if she denies you, like you
And
bombed at open mics. So
you
just
saw her more
just
than
treat
once.
that like I just bombed. I just bombed. Whatever. Who cares?
Just
Move on to the
never
next.
tell her when to come and just talk to her.
I know how you
Talk about getting the phone.
First of all, only take advice from people who actually do this. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I've never seen Orlando with a female.
I think Vlad seen you with one. Vlad seen you with one.
Here's
Just
keep
'cause you-
doing this and never
Yeah.
ask for a
Matt
number,
too.
and just wait, and eventually one will ask for your number, then reject them.
Oh,
Build your confidence. That was a joke.
you're gonna be waiting a long ass
Don't-
time.
Welcome to the douchebag show.
They,
This is another episode of People's Mic. Give it up for them real quick. Thank you guys. Did you have a thought? Something to say?
yeah, I think you have to develop confidence in your subconscious, so it's not dragging you down.
Yeah.
By
into those
destroying
interactions.
their confidence.
No, yeah, that was a
Break them
joke.
down to
Well, I
their
think
Don't
lowest
ever do
form.
that.
That's something I gotta get through.
Continuation.
Reverse psychology.
Spit in
We
their
gotta
face.
close this out. This is fun. Tell me where they can find you, Nick.
You can find. I have a website.
Yeah, you
That is not. I don't work on it. I have a friend who has a web development degree, and
But I guess
I think he's going to work on it.
What's the name of it?
NathanOrtonComedy.com.
Nathan.
I mean, don't go to me.
Comedy.
You kind of look like Randy Orton now that you say Nathan Orton.
That's
Randy Orton.
Who-
Ooh,
do you know
kinda
who-
do look like Randy Orton.
Yep.
Oh, really? He's related to Randy Orton?
This is my brother.
No, no way.
That makes perfect sense.
Fucking lying. Yo, no.
If you ask, I'll tell you.
It's my brother.
Come on. So we on the podcast. What's your name?
Leave him alone.
My name's Nathan Orton.
You look like Randy Orton. Orton. Who's that?
My brother.
That's trippy.
What about your dad?
That's crazy. We're on a
Bob
podcast.
Orton, OG.
Bob Orton.
He had a cowboy
pussy
hat, never rode a
stinks.
horse.
He never.
That's funny.
That's
I should say that.
Tell me where they can
Tell,
find you.
no.
Yes, yeah.
Tell your brother I'd knock him the fuck out.
Well, we're not gonna beat that.
Please don't do that.
Randy
He'll kill
Orton's
me, right?
brother.
Yeah.
He'll hit you, but he'll stop like right here.
Go figure.
Orlando P Comedy. I got
Okay.
nothing. Restaurant.
I guess I'll
East
rip on
Harlem.
professional wrestling for my
Oh,
set.
yeah. Oh,
If everyone knows, I usually don't bring it up, but if people
you
know,
gotta bring it up.
I gotta talk about it. I don't know how to
You
make
gotta
jokes
talk
about it
about it.
because it's so weird to go up there. I don't want people to like
All right,
look
we
like
gotta
I'm
talk about this.
bragging.
It's okay. Yeah, brag.
No,
There's
stop.
nothing to brag
You
about.
got
Stop
the
that
same
now.
forehead creases,
Yeah,
too.
you do got forehead crease.
The same
Dude.
You
as
got the
Randy's.
crease. Yeah.
Yo, talk
You got
about it.
Randy's forehead
If you don't
crease.
talk about it, you are whack.
Yeah, you
Thank
gotta,
No,
you gotta talk about
no,
it.
seriously.
I needed to hear that
You
from
don't
a
have
cool
to force.
dude.
We got close
The
this
moment you
up.
talk about it, that's your gimmick. So don't even. I
Where
say
can we find you? What you got?
I gotta be able to.
All right,
Yo,
stop
fuck
talking,
it.
stop
Yo,
talking,
get
stop
a
talking,
gimmick.
stop talking.
Get a
Go,
gimmick.
go,
Fuck that.
Peter Wong. Find me on peterwongcomedy.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clyde Mack, follow me on Instagram, everything.
It's another episode of People's Mic. You can find it on iHeartRadio, Spotify, JimPeoples.com. Don't subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're here every day, Monday to Friday, out of Shrunken Head at 2:15 for the open podcast, 3 o'clock for the open mic, and Saturdays we're at Niagara at 4:30 for the podcast and 5:30 for the open mic. If you're out of, can you shut the hell up? Shut the fuck up! In my ear.
It's like a sitcom. Like it's a bit.
I was like, what are you talking about? You already spoke. You have nothing going on. All right. If you're an out-of-town comic, feel free to come have a seat and get yelled at and introduce you to all the comedians that are going to hate your guts. And we will see you. Still talking. Tomorrow. Bye. Thank you.